Yo, it's Brian here. Today, talking about the San Francisco 49ers. As always, that was a pretty long intro right there. Hopefully you guys did not get annoyed by that. Anyways, looking at the Niners and free agency period, should they get aggressive in this year's free agency period? I want to pose this question just because of the fact for the past couple of years, the 49ers, they've had some hit and misses in free agency. Recently, they've had a lot of success. You look at D Ford via sign and trade. You look at Quan Alexander. Those two guys, they have a little bit of injury history, but they were able to hit home and do really well for the 49ers in 2019. They were a big reason why we made it to the Super Bowl in 2019. Very impressive on their part. They keep looking for talent. They do a really good job at it for the most part. Paraag, Martin Mayhew, John Lynch, they are an amazing front office. They do a really good job at negotiating contracts, getting players, drafting for the most part. It's just been a really good tenure so far under the John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan regime right now. I want to talk about free agency. This is my favorite time of the year where we get to see who wins the Super Bowl free agency style like the Cleveland Browns, or do we get some efficient picks like last year's? Going to get the video started. I hope you guys do enjoy this. Please like and subscribe. That definitely helps me out a lot. Click that bell notification to get notified of future videos. Share this channel. Share this content with fellow Niner faithfuls. If you're new to my channel, I've seen some of you guys are subscribing to my channel. Welcome, returning subscribers. Been with me since day one. Welcome again. Going to get this video started. 49ers free agency. Should they get aggressive or should they go after anybody in 2020? Okay, 49ers in free agency period. Should they go aggressive? Should they sign a lot of players outside of the 49ers? I want to answer this question in a little bit, but look at their backstory right now in terms of the salary cap. They currently have about $20 million, including the Quan Alexander and Weston Richburg restructurings that happened earlier in the season. That's some good news right there. So they are currently at $20 million. They were about $13 million before those restructures, but now they have a little bit more money to work with. Also, they can cut a couple of guys like Jared McKinnon and Marquise Goodwin, mentioned it a couple of videos ago. That can save some money as well. As of this video, they could have even more potentially in this whole salary cap thing. I do like salary cap in my opinion. I think it's a really good way to keep the teams in parity. It's not uncapped like MLB where you can just sign anybody to any ridiculous amount of contract. I think it's a really good thing to have salary cap just to keep the equality of the teams and what have you, get every team a chance to win as much as possible. And 49ers, they really benefited from the salary cap era, looking at it right now, because they had a lot of cap money when they were bad. Now that they've been able to sign a lot of players and hit home with them, you're saying that it can be a beneficial thing. Free agency, it's really a big hit and miss business. Depends on which player you get. Do they fit your system? I mean, you could hit like the Denver Broncos in 2015 where they got DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, those guys, or you can be big misses like the Washington Redskins where they just completely miss on every free agent signing and what have you. Look at Daniel Snyder's tenure as the owner of the Redskins. Man, he has tried so many things with free agency and he has won nothing. And also the Cleveland Browns, they are big losers of free agency as well. I don't want to rely too much on free agency. I think it's a good way to build veteran leadership if you're trying to be a young team and you need some veteran players to get acclimated to the young players. Look at us in San Francisco. We kind of did that some way, shape, or form, but we mostly built on the draft. It's looking good right now. And for me personally, I'm a guy that likes to build on the draft. I like developing players as much as possible, see if they can make an impact quickly as a rookie like Nick Bosa, or if it takes a little bit of a second to get developed like Jimmy Ward. I'm a big fan of the draft more than free agency in my opinion. Plus, you get to have a little bit more control on what you do in the draft in terms of your position and what have you. Free agency, I mean, it depends on the veterans. Really, this whole free agency period in 2020, it's mostly about the quarterbacks. You look at Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and Phillip Rivers. Those guys are the top three people that are currently on the market. The 49ers, they don't really need a quarterback. There's been some crazy stories about Tom Brady maybe becoming a 49er because he's from San Mateo and what have you. Maybe they don't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo, but I really don't believe in that. I think Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are 100% in with Jimmy G, unless they do like some convoluted thing with Tom Brady, Jimmy G getting traded before free agency, something crazy like that. But I don't see anything happening with that. I prefer to have Jimmy G just because if he still plays well, you could have 10 good years of Jimmy G than just 1 or 2 years with Brady. But if they think they have a chance of winning the Super Bowl in a year or two, then I guess you can go with Brady. But for the most part, I'm 99.999% chance I want to go with Jimmy G at the 49ers starting quarterback. Some of you guys are losing faith in him, but I still have faith in him completely as our starting quarterback. I think some of you guys have to realize that this was his first full season at the quarterback for the 49ers. You look at 2020, this is going to be his second full season. I think having 1 year under his belt, including a Super Bowl berth, another year with Kyle Shanahan and his system, that's going to be very good as well. Looking at it, quarterbacks, I'm not going to look at any quarterbacks, to be honest with you, unless something happens to Jimmy G, which nothing will happen to him. Anyways, what else to talk about this whole free agency period? A lot of interesting stuff. You got AJ Green, Jadeveon Clowney. Those are pretty big free agents, but I highly doubt we're going to get any of those guys. I prefer to sign our guys that we have right now, like Eric Armstead, Jimmy Ward, give them some contract extensions, restructure some deals as well. They could do that, then that'd be awesome. So for me personally, answering this question, should we go aggressive in this free agency period, I'd say no quickly in terms of like getting the marquee free agents as the guy that I mentioned before. But if you want to get some role guys like maybe Josh Norman or James Bradbury from Washington and Carolina respectively, some role guys that you can fill some depth chart with, then I believe that's a good thing. For the most part, I'm looking at it. I don't think we should be going too aggressive in this free agency period. We already did in 2019, so why do it again in 2020? Plus the cap money, we don't have as much as we did last year in 2017. That really comes down to that. And I like my team right now. I prefer to re-sign everybody right now in free agency because it's a little bit more familiarity. They could try to build upon what they did in 2019 to 2020. Also, the draft is coming up. We don't have a lot of draft capital. That's an issue, I think, in my opinion, but hopefully they can find some value within the 5th to 7th round pick. They have 2 5th-round picks, a 6th and a 7th. They don't have a lot of draft picks this year. John Lynch, as you all know, he's hit a lot in the late draft picks. You look at George Kittle, you look at other guys in the 7th round, 6th round, like Dre Greenlaw. He has done a really good job on finding players in the late rounds, and that's what makes him mark of a good general manager. Is not hitting the first and second rounders only. It's to hit everybody from rounds 1 through 7. Also, undrafted free agents. You look at Matt Breida, Nick Mullins. They've been able to find some gems within the whole 49ers draft process. For me personally, I prefer to go with the draft. I know we don't have as much draft capital. That's just me right there. I think they should re-sign everybody as much as possible if they can to restructure deals. Also, maybe get some depth guys, but starter guys, I don't think we need any, to be honest with you. I like my defensive line. I like my quarterback. I like my running backs, wide receivers for the most part. Defensive back, you might want to go aggressive on that part, but other than that, I don't see anything too crazy. So, yep, that's it, guys. Wanted to talk about this real quick. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. For me, free agency, maybe for some depth guys, but for the most part, they should not be going aggressive in free agency. And also, they don't really have a lot of cap money to go with. I'm going to end the video right here. Please let me know what you guys think about free agency. Should they go aggressive in this whole 2020 period? I like to hear what you guys say in the comments below. If you guys like this, please like and subscribe. That's going to definitely help me out a lot. I'll be catching you guys up tomorrow on a Tuesday when I talk about players potentially breaking out in their second year. I'll see y'all then. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Go Niners all day.